Hi guys, it's Colette. Welcome back to my channel. This is the weekly tarot card for the week commencing Monday the 10th of December 2018. We're getting there. I hope the sound matches up with this one. If not, I'll probably have to invest in a new laptop because I'm having too many problems with this, but hopefully this will be okay for you and will match up and we'll get something else sorted for all the other stuff that's waiting to be done. But this is your weekly tarot card. It's card 5, Major Arcana, and it's the Hierophant, the Hierophant, or the High Priest. And it's got a very kind of intense looking male on it, obviously contemplating something. And if you look, his head goes all the way up and it's like the stars and the universe, and I think it's a gorgeous looking card. The eyes are quite intense. Yeah, it's just one of these cards that is just more of a face with the universe in on it. Now, the Major Arcana are the big punch cards, and they really bring a lot of energy into the week ahead that is kind of bigger than the little things. And yes, I'll go into the littler things, but in general, when the High Priest card comes out, there's a lot of issues to do with society that tend to come to the fore and make us think about things and how we are within ourselves spiritually as far as society goes. Now, I know that's an odd thing to say, but you know, most of us are spiritual beings, and some people, you know, think, well, they go along with their spiritual life and they don't even think about things like compassion and kindness, etc., because they do it anyway. But this card brings more of an esoteric thinking about our spirituality and the way that we would like society to be. It brings out a sense of society pulling itself together again. Now, this is a very heartening card because of the way that things have been going, maybe in the USA and also in the UK at the moment, where there's lots of negative things. It's just one thing after another, and it's getting to the stage you wonder where the bottom lines are. And I'm not being political in either way, but if you look in many countries, the same things there, that, you know, a certain degree of a bottom line has been lowered and lowered and lowered. This High Priest card is necessary to say, nope, this is where we quit it. This is where society has to stop before we move into a society that would have no guiding rules, no sense of morality, no sense of civilization, and all the things that society can bring in a good way for one another. So think of where we are in our relative countries and the politics, the aspects of things that we don't like, and so many negative things have been going on. The High Priest gives us the chance to say, no, this is where we stop and this is it going in the other way now. The general trend will be that morality steps in and says, this is where we are, we're not going any lower, folks. This is where a sense of right and wrong becomes very, very, very in your face. And I'm treating it, normally I'm not so keen on the High Priest card because of the religious aspect that is assigned to it a lot. It's in one of its older names is the Papa or the Pope, and it brings in that sort of Christianization, which is fine, but that to me brings doctrine that becomes dogma, and that's the slightly negative side. But for where we are in our lives, in our countries and in the world at the moment, even with the environment, I actually feel quite happy having the High Priest card out for the whole week ahead. I think he'll be very good for even justice coming through, because morality has stopped things in its tracks. So yes, there's other meanings to the High Priest, etc., but you know, I'm reading it for now, where we are and what we can expect of the week ahead. So I'm always aware of all the other things that are going on, the cards that have gone behind it, and what's leading us to here. So I'm quite happy with him this year. If we take it to more of a religious high priest, what is he telling us? Well, we're heading for Christmas, and we're in, we're coming through Hanukkah. We've had many festivals of lights, come through Diwali as well. These festivals are all religious festivals, even moving forward to about the 21st. We've got the winter solstice celebrations. These all bring a sense of a kind of religious and a pathway of working with spirituality. They're not really like the High Priestess, which is very much more feminine and more, I would say, moon orientated. But the High Priest is very much the religions, and the way that we practice those religions are passed with the doctrine. So what does that mean? Well, if we look at the way that we've just, we've gone through Black Friday and this, that and the next thing, and the world is going crazy buying things, and that's okay. But what this card says to me about Christmas is, what is the meaning of Christmas? It's not really about all the money and the materialism. It's about the initial doctrine and celebration of Jesus's birth, and that's what that says. And for the winter solstice, it's not, are we all going to stuff our faces and feast and drink and whatever. It's about, what does this mean for the earth? And the same for all the different festivals that are here at this time. This is bringing them down to their basics and reminding us that for all the celebrations and all the joy that's out there, there is a spiritual background to it, and we must never forget that. So if you're a mum running about going crazy, wondering if you've got enough tinsel or if you've got a present for this one or that one, roll it back and think about the true meaning of Christmas and also the other festivities that are around at that time. Because believe it or not, this is a time where there are so many festivals of light, and there are so many festivals that are religious, and what they're doing is they're bringing out the joy of those different religions and paths. And we've got religions cause an awful lot of trouble. They really do. I'm the first to say that organised religion can be a pest. But this can be the good of it. The works of good that can be done for Christmas and, for Hanukkah and for, solstice, Yule, Diwali. It's a time where people tend to give a hell of a lot. They give of their money, they give of their time, they give of their prayers. So I know I'm going on about this, but we hear so much negative about religious festivals or paths, and this is the time where there's an awful lot of good comes from them. So ignore the materialism, get your family together and give thanks to your God or goddess or whatever. And remember that for a lot of people out there, the don't get caught up too much in Christmas for the toys and stuff. More get caught up in, the baby Jesus, etc. So anyway, that's the bigger picture. What does it mean in career? Right, well, the Hierophant is definitely the card of knowledge and accruing knowledge. So although it's a busy time, you might be able to be mentored by someone, or you may mentor someone and pass on knowledge and what you know. If at work there's a situation and you're not sure of something, please make sure that you approach the person with the correct knowledge to solve the problem, which isn't necessarily Googling it. Make sure that you're taking the right advice from the right professional in work or you could just muck up. So that's a wee warning for the workplace. If we look at health, it's just a card of saying, you know, get to the nub of the matter of your illness, you know. Sometimes we skate around the edges, or for people in America, we skate around the edges. Sorry about that. We skate around the edges and we don't actually look at the actual causes of what's going on. So where things like medication and pathways for living a good life with different illnesses is concerned, this card encourages us to look at the very basis of it and how we can take that knowledge and improve our lives. And just on that note, thank you to everybody who gave me recommendations for chronic kidney disease. I've ordered up a few cookbooks and I've looked into a lot of new age things, and I'm feeling much more positive about the situation itself. Just a bit annoyed that some of the things I really like are not actually healthy for kidneys, like eggs, but never mind. Anyway, so that's the type of thing I'm saying. On this book, I've ordered up my cookbooks. I'm getting to the nub of the matter, what I can do, what I can't do, how my lifestyle can be better. That is the High Priestess card. Sorry, the High Priest card. If we look at love, this is the one that actually brings out lots of engagements, lots of marriages, lots of civil ceremonies, a lot of people committing to one another, sometimes through a religious or a civic ceremony with this card. So anybody out there who's getting married or, you know, making that deep commitment, then on you go, you've got a great card behind you for doing it. With money, it's just have knowledge about money. Again, in the lead up to Christmas, any wee sort of reminder that we have to be very truthful and honest about our money. That's really what the High Priest says. You don't lie to the High Priest. That'd be like going to confession and saying, I lied, and then adding a lie on at the end, you know. So don't do that. Don't do that. So what we've got with the High Priest is actually a card that is very relevant to this time of year with all the festivities that are going on, to bring us back to the nub of the matter. And I think that's a good thing. So we're getting near Christmas. Keep calm and let's enjoy it. And I hope you'll be back and join me for next week's weekly tarot card, and there'll be more videos going up as well. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. My book, Tarot Novice to Pro in One Book by Colette Clairvoyant is on all Amazons and other booksellers now. So many blessings. Bye now.